Luxury SUVs have been upcoming and going, and with hybrid technology, I'm pleased that Tommy and Carlos have given us the 2022 Lexus RX450h all-wheel drive in your Matador red here at Lexus of Wesley Chapel. New for this year is a black line special edition, 3 new paint options, luxury appointed cabin, the latest technology, Lexus Safety System Plus 2.0, going against your BMW X3 that was refreshed in the Mercedes-AMG GLC 43. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Lexus RX450h starts off like any Lexus with an enlarged grille. The best part though, this is a hybrid. So the emblem is going to have that purple around the Lexus badging. Inside the grille is not going to have the high gloss. You're going to have a gloss gray. So they are doing things to change it and make it look more at their brand level with the chrome surrounding everything. On the lower trim, you're going to get the metal look. Ground clearance at 8.2 inches, which is better than the BMW and your Mercedes-Benz. Bi-LED headlamps, intelligent high beams with your signature daytime running lights. Working down, you're going to get your functional side curtains. You got the metal look underneath here as well. So you got the athletic performance styling. You got a height of 57.7 inches and a width of 74.6 inches. Aerodynamic line structures stay on the hood, and you got about 4 different line structures, which gives the good indication of where the front bumper is when you're looking at it through a front windscreen. And I do like the fact that it's more settle on the side. You're not going to have flared out fenders, but you'll get that matte black that is encasing these 20-inch 5 double spoke dark gray inserts. Alloy wheels, machine finished with a 12.9-inch disc reading for the front, a 12.2-inch reading for the rear, independent McPherson strut front suspension, independent double wishbone rear suspension. Both the front and the rear will have your coil springs, gas pressurized shock absorbers, stabilizer bar, and the best part about it is you have the performance to back it with your electronic brake force distribution, which will help whenever you're doing some cornering or anything like that. I like the hybrid badging on the side, and it has a touch of aerodynamics that cut down through it as well. I do wish that the matte black wasn't all around it, but if you get the F Sport, you're going to get the gloss black. So they have to have a difference between the two, a length at 192.5 inches, the wheelbase at 109.8 inches. The BMW and the Mercedes-Benz will be shorter, but a longer wheelbase. This one's going to be a more luxury-driven vehicle, where that one's going to be more performance. So you're going to feel it more as a stiff suspension. This one is going to be more like butter smooth is the way I like to call it. Chrome over all of the window trims. One thing that I wish that they did do, though, is they put it here in the rear, because it looks like they kind of forgot about it, or maybe they just wanted to do a styling element to give an electrifying look because of the way it sets with the gloss black in between. Just enough of the aerodynamic structure, and I do like that they put the chrome underneath here, because when you fold them in or out, you can see the same look. Lane departure with steering assist, blind spot monitoring is set with this as well, with that Lexus Safety System Plus 2.0 with your wraparound tail lights. And I like the structure because we do still have a roof spoiler and everything brushes off, and it really does project that Lexus badging with that purple behind it. You got the chrome underneath it to keep the luxury. Working down, you're going to get your reverse parking sensors, and you're going to get a little bit of a diffuser with the metal over it, and you got some air vents or kind of a grille pattern in the rear. I do like it because it's a hybrid. I don't really want to see exhaust, so this kind of gives you an idea or an image of exhaust. So it is kind of cool. Towing up to 3,500 pounds. We do have the power tailgate and the kick to open for your tailgate. So just kick open. Your curb weight is going to be at 4,740 pounds. Going inside your cargo at 16 cubic feet. You have a 12 volt and your spare tire. The rear bench split folds at a 40-20-40 split, maxing the cargo to 32.6 cubic feet with your rear cross traffic alert. The Lexus RX450h on all four corners just stress how nice and luxurious it looks. You have different angle curves in which sets it apart, and it backs that with performance with a 3.5 liter V6 producing 308 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque that's paired to a CVT transmission, all-wheel drive, and you're achieving 31 to 28 mpgs. A 0 to 60 at 7.9 seconds, a top speed at 112 miles per hour. So it's not necessarily going to be the fastest in its segment, but it's going to be able to keep up with everybody. And you know what? You're getting optimal gas consumption, so it's something to take in consideration if you're looking for a hybrid. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Lexus RX 450h. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Lexus RX 450h at 39.4 inches of headroom, 44.1 inches of legroom, which is going to be more legroom than the BMW and your Mercedes-Benz. Black New Lux trimmed front seats. They're heated, they're ventilated, 10-way power adjustments. Memory will be set for the driver, and you can do 3 different ones. You're going to have a deep dashboard. I like the way it sets up because you have the contrast stitching, you got the metal look, it just has a lot going on, but the best part that's centering it is a 12.3 touch screen infotainment with navigation. You have the pinch, you have the swipe. This has your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, FM, AM. Before we switch it to reverse, we're going to do the bird's eye view, so that way you can see all these surroundings around you. It's a pretty cool little feature that they offer. I wish that it was a little different in the sense, but if you click here, you can see as well, and you can pause it, and you can move it yourself, but the movement itself basically moves by itself, so you can't really pause it. However, switching it to reverse, it is a 360-degree reverse camera with trajectory. The lines make it very easy as well. You can change the different dynamics of it, and you can also take these dynamic grid lines off as well. I do like the fact that it is the whole screen, Bluetooth connectivity, and a CD player with 12 speakers. It's quite a bit of sound out of this car because the cabin, this is a mid-size SUV at the end of the day. The luxury is going to keep on going. You're going to get your analog clock with the Lexus badging in it. You're going to get the gray that sparkles around the CD player with your dual climate control settings. The only disadvantage with the ventilated heated seats is a little hard because it's right in front of the gear lever and it's also in front of the wireless charging pad, which makes it a little bit hard to access it from the driver's side. Maybe a little bit easier from the passenger, but the cup holder would probably be an issue. You can also put these down a little bit, or you could push them up. 16.9 ounce water bottle fits with no problem. You could probably fit a 20 ounce to maybe 32 ounce. You have an area here that you can put a key fob or a smaller phone, USB, and 12 volt. I do like that we have a little area that's a palm rest for that touch pad. That's also for that infotainment screen, which you also have voice recognition. So again, luxury amenities. The vehicle is under 60K. Open up in here, you have 2 USB ports, a 12 volt, and it's pretty deep. You got a lot of little storage. The nice thing also is you have your driving modes here. So if you want to just drive pure EV, you can do so. You can also change it to an eco. You can change it to a sport. When you change it, you will also see that in the gauge cluster and on your infotainment, it'll change from like a blue to a red. So it is pretty nice. A large panoramic moonroof that goes all the way to the back seats. Elbows are going to be soft. A 3-spoke leather and wood steering wheel that has a multifunction. It has your paddle shifters. Looking at the gauge cluster, you have kind of a coach tachometer for your charging, your eco, and your power instead of a RPM. I do like that because this is a hybrid. You're really trying to get optimal gas consumption out of the vehicle. You have a information screen that can go through a lot of different information as well. Pretty much your navigation, your audio, and anything wrong with the vehicle. As for the door panel, harder materials are on the top. You're going to get that window that I always complain about that's like a Prius window. Working down, one touch up and down. Front windows are dual pane. You got the wood inserts, contrast stitching. The best part is you can open up the storage tray and you can really fit, I would say, at least 5 16.9 ounce water bottles. So it's super efficient. Comparing this to Mercedes-Benz or BMW, you're gonna have more storage capacity. Even on the passenger side, you have a little area here that you can put some papers. So they really do think of everything. Let's check out the back seats. For the back seats, I'm at 38.2 inches of headroom, 38 inches of legroom, which is going to be more than BMW and Mercedes again. So legroom, this is definitely the best if you're going into the class against those three. Luxury, you're going to have a little bit more in this one. It's going to be, again, more sporty in that one. Elbows going to be nice and soft. Cup holders here, you can fit about a 20 ounce, 16.9 ounce fits okay. You're going to have 2 USB ports. You got your air vents and storage. The floor is completely flat. Now the nice thing about this is you can also recline these back, and they recline really far back, and because of that leg space, it works out really good. Panoramic moonroof, I do like the way it sets up. I wish it was just a little bit further back, but I get it because of the fact that the cargo space basically makes it a little bit less ability to do that, and you also have a roof spoiler. As for the door panel, you got the harder materials on the top. You got the tweeter with the wood inserts. You got the contrast stitching, one touch up and down. Storage, unfortunately, you can only fit about 2 16.9 ounce water bottles. You can also adjust these all the way forward, and you can adjust these all the way back too to make more optimal cargo space. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom, I'm against the headliner. Legroom, I'm kind of grazing the back of the front seats in the position I'd be sitting, or a little bit further back for the passenger. I'm blocking the central air vents. The floor is flat, so I don't really have an issue with leg space. I don't have too much issue with shoulder space, just because it's a 40-20-40 split. You basically have like a 20% seat. So what that means for your buttocks is it feels like half of it is laying on the other side of the occupant's seat, in which makes you feel a little awkward and you do sit up a little bit, whereas in the other sides you actually sit back, so that way headroom is more optimal. And as you can see, because of the way the seats are structured, headroom is completely different because you actually sit back more, whereas you sit more forward in the center, but you can fit 3 adults my size if need be. Taking the 2022 Lexus RX450h out for our test run. Nice thing about hybrids is you get optimal gas consumption. So we're going to start the review off in the eco mode, so that way we can really see how it drives in that range. The nice thing also is when you let off the gas pedal, you can see that the coaching tachometer says charging, which is nice. And you can also tell when the vehicle is running because you can hear that engine. V6 engine, so you do have the power to back it up, over 300 horsepower, which is good. You got the butter soft suspension as well. When the car kicks in for the drive, you can start hearing that engine. It is a little bit louder than you would really want it to be, I would say, for a hybrid, but it's okay because you do have the dual pane windows and it does filter out everything, and I kind of like hearing a V6 engine. We got it in sport mode. We're going to give her a little go, that way we can see how well it performs. CVT transmission, I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, it gets fast, and when you change it into sport mode, you can actually see your RPMs. So it is a cool thing that they do that because it makes it a little bit more fun and playful. If I want to put it in EV mode, I can't at the moment because of me driving like I did, but if I change it back to eco mode, it will show me my coaching and it will show me immediately how many miles per gallon I'm getting. So I do like the fact that I'm doing all these functionalities. Changing it back to sport mode makes it more pleasurable. You can feel a little bit in the steering. It has a little bit of weight. It's not as artificial as you would expect it to be, but it's not overweighted, so it has a luxury status to it as well. As for visibility, I know I complain about the Prius windows, however, they do help in this category because of these A-pillars and the way the hood and the windscreen is structured. It does kind of work hand in hand, so it does make it easier for you to understand that the vehicle has a little bit of a length to the front. Regenerative braking in the vehicle. These do make noise. As I've been driving it, it makes quite a bit of noise. when you're at a lower speed. At a higher speed, you're not going to really hear it. You can have some good maneuverability, as you can see, if you need to move in and out of lanes. It is nice. And when you put it in sport mode, it feels like it's ready to go. It does have an aggressive status. You really have to hit over 3 RPMs though to hear the engine note. As for those brakes, you brake harder, you're going to go forward. It's also going to help with that regenerative braking. Checking the turn radius at more or less a stop, you get a little bit of a howl from those regenerative braking. About 2 lanes, giving it full gas in eco mode, it doesn't feel as powerful. When I put it into sport, it actually gives me a better ratio. So I do like the fact that the functionality is pretty spot on that. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like is you're getting so much MPGs for a vehicle that is under $60,000. Hybrid technology, you usually want to go with Lexus and Toyota, and this is definitely the segment for the luxury line. The second thing that I like about it, I mean, 10-way power adjustment seats, heated ventilated seats, you have plenty of charging ports, you have plenty of cup holders, plenty of storage. I can go on and on and on. The third thing that I like about the vehicle, if you need the power, switch it into sport mode and give it some gas and the thing's ready to rock and roll. Yes, the 0 to 60 isn't so fast, but it will keep up with traffic. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle is you got a V6 and it doesn't necessarily perform at optimal speed in the sense of that 0 to 60. The reason why I'm complaining about that is because I know it's a hybrid and there's a lot more weight in this. That being said, maybe add an additional 25 or 50 horsepower to give it that go. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the dash. It is a little bit larger than I would like to see in a luxury car. I would like it to be more streamlined and a little bit more of a modern look. This doesn't look outdated, it just is a little bit longer than I would want it to be, also with some harder materials. The third thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the regenerative braking system. It makes noise even at a 40 mile per hour speed, so you can hear it all the time. And it's not that it gets annoying, it's just I'm in a hybrid, but I'm in a luxury hybrid, so mask it a little bit. Now, if I'm comparing this to the BMW X3, I like the M competition. That is one of my favorite cars of this year, but you're not going to compare that car to this one because performance is a lot different, price point is a lot more money, and if you're comparing it to more of a base X3, you're going to get more styling cues, it's going to be more performance driven. But this vehicle, everyone knows the engineering in Lexus. It's a very well-built car. The materials inside hold up good, and the longevity with the hybrid technology yet again. Now, if I'm comparing it to the Mercedes-Benz, yet again, performance. So you'll get luxury, don't get me wrong. In both of them, you're gonna get a lot of luxury. It's just the price point and what you're getting. Lexus, I feel, is definitely stepping up their game quite a bit. I wish it was a little bit lower in the noise though, because I do hear a lot of different noises, especially from the hybrid or from the regenerative braking and also through the wheel well area. Otherwise, it's a pretty solid car. The dual pane windows do help filter out everything. You do hear a little bit of those impurities, but you don't feel them. That's the best part about Lexus. When you get into other brands, if you go over a reflector in the road, you're gonna bounce. You're not gonna do that in the Lexus.